episode 14 of Anime and Us Other. I'm PJ.
And I'm Sean.
And this is the review show that reviews anime, movies. Kind of, sometimes.
Sometimes.
I don't know what this intro is.
Alright, so last time we were spinning, we realized that Elden Ring was coming out, and I was not going to be recording. I was going to be playing that game. So we gave ourselves another extra week, which means we do a movie.
Yep.
So, another Lupin movie.
This is another Lupin movie.
Pursuit of Harimao?
Harimao.
I'm going to look it up real quick. Here it is. Harimaos?
Where is it?
Harimaos? Right here.
Harimao. Males. I don't know.
Treasure.
Whatever. Something treasure.
Lupin going after treasure.
They should have made it an English name since the character that's named that. I don't know. I guess he was a fan.
Well, also, let's say your name is Sasuke in Japanese. But really an English name for that. You just say Sasuke. Just like Sean in Spanish, there is no name for it. You just call me Sean.
No, my point was I thought it was named after the English guy that was a ripoff of James Bond.
Oh, it might have been. This felt like a very James Bondy movie.
It is a James Bond movie. It's literally the guy is James Bond.
So I have to say something. Fujiko is vastly different in this one, as she usually is, portrayal-wise, as far as like her art style. But she's also very different when it comes to, especially from the last one. Because last time we talked about Fujiko and how like I brought it up, how like she acts differently. Well, this time she was like upset that Lupin was interested in the girl.
Yeah,
like, on the phone, she was like, "Lupin, like, don't think about her or whatever she was saying." Like,
yeah, but then every other time that she was interacting with this girl around her, she didn't seem to care.
Really weird. I don't know what was going on there.
Anyway. Did you have stats and stuff that you want to talk about this movie? Like
stats?
Did you look up on?
So the movie was made in 1995 and it was dubbed in 2002.
There you go. That's all I looked up.
Something else I wanted to say is I might have touched on this in a different movie. Can't remember. All the voice actors seem to be very similar or the same.
Yes,
but Fujiko's is always different. Like I don't know if this is on purpose or not, but it's kind of funny.
I don't know.
Like her voice is so different than the other ones in this one. And not in a bad way or anything, it's clearly not the same voice actors.
Right. No. You want to get the premise out of the way?
He wants to steal things.
It's not the premise. What's the premise
of the
movie?
You tell me.
There is a treasure that's being hidden by 3 statues.
Yeah, spread across the world, I think we'll get them.
Right. And that's pretty much, he's got to go steal them, but there's also James Bond who needs to go get it, and then Nazis need to get it too.
Nazis in 1995. So I have a confession to make. I only watched 22 minutes of it.
Oh, god damn it.
I was wondering if you were going to pick on it for a while or not, and I just started feeling bad.
Yeah.
So, usually when we're going to be doing a Lupin movie, because we're taking an extra week, TJ will text me which movie it is, because like, you have to get the chronological order when they were released. And he texted me yesterday, or a couple days, but a couple days ago, you texted me, "This is the movie."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Cool, I'll watch it 2 hours before we have to do the podcast." And then earlier today, you texted me about it and said it was only 22 minutes. Must have been a TV special. And then, like an hour later or whatever, you said, "Oh no, the stream for some reason only has 22 minutes of it. You got to go watch it somewhere else." And I was like, "Nope." So I watched 22 minutes. So, like the Nazi thing, I had no idea.
You're a jerk.
So, something I wanted to mention, though, is the wolf, right, Lupin?
Mm-hmm.
They call him Wolf, but especially in this one, he looked very monkey-ish. Especially in this one. Most of them, he looks a little monkey-ish, but, like, the whole lip thing with the way they were drawing it looked very monkey-ish, which I thought was odd.
Yeah, at one point later, he's walking on his hands and stuff.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's odd. I wonder why don't they call him Monkey if they're going to call him Wolf? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to call him an animal name, and you're going to draw him a certain way, it should probably be the same one. Unless that's a joke somehow.
I don't know. I was always confused about the wolf.
Yeah, I don't know. You ready to carry this the rest of the episode?
You really should have watched this one.
Yeah, was it good?
I mean, it was decent. It's a Lupin movie. They usually are. But there was some crazy stuff in it. Like, the Nazis are run by a man called Hermaphrodite? Yeah. I'm not even kidding.
Is he dressed like a woman?
He puts makeup on, he uses a sound modulator to talk like a woman.
Oh my god. I wish I saw this one. God damn it.
Yeah. You really should have watched this one. Because this one is crazy. He hates women. So at one point, Fujiko kisses him, and he freaks out because, women are disgusting and stuff.
Meanwhile, he's half woman.
Right. At one point, they're trying to get one of these statues, and then Lupin, they have to get through a military checkpoint. So Lupin uses pornos to bribe them.
Oh my god.
Yeah. This movie was nuts.
The drawing seemed weird, too. So, like, some of the characters looked like they were drawn from, like, American 80s style. How they were, like, really thick in the chest and arms. It just looked odd. It looked like American 80s comic books.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a Lupin movie. It's not bad by any means. It was actually one of the better ones, honestly. It was just really crazy how it but it plays out exactly how you think it plays out.
Yeah.
Like, they meet the guy the rich James Bond guy, who literally, James Bond. They say that all the stories were written about this guy. And, like, they reference, like, From Russia with Love and all his stuff when they introduced him. And I think that was in the 22-minute part.
I think so as well. There was, they had the James Bond music when they were getting to the car and everything.
Yeah, so this guy's literally James Bond. But yeah, and then there's he has a granddaughter, and him and that's Lupin's turn for a love interest. That's not Fujiko.
That's not Fujiko.
Yeah, so he's like, and it's weird because he's all handsy with her throughout the whole thing.
Oh, creepy.
Like at one point she's kidnapped and she's tied up and hung in from a helicopter, and he gets launched up there because Jigen jumps a ramp with a motorcycle and he wraps around her and she's like, "You're touching my ass here." And he has his hands on his ass and he kisses her on the cheek with his. It's very, it wouldn't
some rapey vibes.
It wouldn't fly in today's standards.
Yeah,
but and then
even 90s. That's more like a 70s, 80s type of thing. 90s, I feel like things were changing a little.
That's true. This was made in the 90s, but it's still Lupin
and it's Japan.
Japan, yeah.
So Japan 90s is literally our 70s.
Yeah, so it's like, you get it, but it was still very weird, and the mention was kind of like, because throughout the whole thing, he's like, "You want to go out?" And then at the end, she's like, "Yeah, we can go do dinner." So it's like,
it worked.
Yeah, exactly. That was the message. Keep touching and pushing, and
that's all they wanted.
Right. Exactly. So that was weird. But a subway is blown up, tunnel is blown up, which makes, I don't think insurance works like this, but apparently billionaires are responsible for certain high expenditures in insurance. It's
not even in the most socialist countries, is that it?
Yeah, so the insurance thing is weird here, but the James Bond is pretty much responsible for it, but he knows about the treasure. But all this was a plan by the Nazi lawyer, who was the lawyer.
Okay. He's the Nazi. Because I remember the lawyer scene.
Yeah, he's the Nazi hermaphrodite. Right?
Oh, he is?
Yes.
I was actually going to ask that when you brought that up earlier. I was like, is that the lawyer?
Yep.
The lawyer was weird. So, like, the scene where they were sitting down to talk about it, the Fujiko or the daughter, I can't remember who, was like, "Can't you do anything, lawyer, about us having to pay this?" And he's like, "Nope."
Yeah, because he's the bad guy.
That makes sense now.
So now because he knew how to get this Harimao's treasure, which was a bandit from like World War II or something because James Bond was a pilot in the World War II, he got crashed in the jungle, and Harimao saved him, and when he died of a fever or something, he gave the keys to his justice men, but told him, James Bond, the secret to open it up. So they gotta collect the 3 statues. It's Lupin, hijinks, blah, 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 blah.
Does anyone die?
Yeah.
The daughter?
No, James Bond dies.
Oh, right, the daughter lives. James Bond dies, okay.
Yeah. So
usually the bad guy dies.
They get to, the bad guys do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Usually the bad guy dies.
Yeah, the bad guy dies too, and then James Bond dies too. Because Lupin and
James Bond is kind of a bad guy, right?
Yeah. He's a good guy.
Really?
He's a good guy.
Usually Lupin's the good guy, and everyone else is some sort of shade of bad.
They end up teaming up.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the Nazis get involved. So they have to team up against the Nazis.
You know what I found funny is in the opening scene, Lupin is snowboarding away from the cops. Mm-hmm. 2 things I found funny about this. First, a lot of cops die in that scene. The cars keep crashing into each other and blowing up.
Yeah.
Lupin. 2, Lupin is like a great athlete.
Yeah.
Whatever he does when he's running away, he always succeeds at it. Whether he's flipping and jumping through the air parkour, whether he's like, spinning on pipes and shit and flying, whether he's snowboarding, he's an amazing athlete apparently.
Yeah.
And I never really thought of it that way before.
he's it's what thieves are, really. That's what they're supposed to do. Well, white collar thieves.
In
burglary, I mean, like these kinds of thieves.
The made-up thieves, yes. Not in real life.
No,
okay.
No.
Then yes,
I'm talking about like the famous fictional thieves.
I agree.
Things.
I agree.
You know, Zenigata's in it too. He has an obsession with ramen noodles in this one for him.
I remember the scene with him and he gets arrested.
Yeah, and so there's that, and eventually they get all the keys. They go to the treasure, and it's a golden submarine.
How long has this treasure been a thing?
Or two at least.
A golden submarine.
A golden submarine with all the treasure inside, and of course, Lupin and James Bond get there, and then the bad guys follow him to the treasure, and then
prediction: Lupin doesn't get to keep the treasure. I'm batting 1,000.
Yeah. So the Nazis get onto the submarine. Fujiko kisses Hermaphrodite, which causes them to run into Guilliman, and there's a big fight scene. And then the Hermaphrodite, I don't think that's his name, but it's close. It's something like that. He shoots James Bond, and they were bombing the submarine, so the submarine's going down too. So, everyone runs trying to escape, and the submarine sinks, and for some reason, James Bond's shot, and I guess he's shot, and he says, I'm staying, you guys run away, and he goes down with the sub. And then at the end, they're all on the lifeboat, and the granddaughter is looking out sadly, and Lupin walks up there and says, this probably isn't time, but, you said we can go get dinner.
Let's
dinner. And she's like, just dinner.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
So, grading? Best Lupin movie I've ever seen.
I'm sure. But it is crazy. You actually probably should go back and check it out.
Maybe. Probably not.
Because it was one of the weirder ones, like, just straight out weird. But
the whole Hermaphrodite thing.
And it sounds like you would have enjoyed it, honestly.
Probably. It sounds like it, yeah.
But, of course, you copped out on me again.
10 out of 10.
It's one of the better ones. We don't tend to. It's maybe a 7 or 8, honestly.
Probably.
But we don't really grade these ones anymore because these are just movies.
Yeah, they're movies. Unless there's one particularly bad, right?
Yeah. This one
hasn't happened yet.
I mean, there was
some on the worst side, but not particularly really bad. There hasn't been
one under a 5. We'll say that.
All right, guys. Next episode.
Next episode is One Punch Man.
Yes, it is. See you guys.
Bye.